So I guess I'm live. This is my first time being live on this channel. Let me mess with my stuff over here. Okay, so I don't even know if anybody knows that I'm live or if you can hear me. If you can hear me, you could let me know by just making a comment. Over there. Anyway, this is my live stream. I'm just super happy that the IG report is out. And I have not read it yet. I'm going to start reading it tomorrow. Oh, hi, Raw Neighbors. Can you hear me? Is my sound okay? Because I'm not using my normal mic. I'm using the webcam mic. Okay, great. You guys can hear me. Yeah, so the IG report just came out, and I guess it's nice to live stream. I haven't really done this here before, so please forgive me. This is, my first time over here live streaming. And tonight I'm hanging out with, hard to see, but yeah, his name is Chad. So I got hanging Chad on my cup, but really it's just cream soda because I promised myself I wouldn't embarrass myself by, getting drunk on a live stream. So I'm so excited. I've been waiting for the IG report to come out for so long. I've been following Spygate. I've been reading so much stuff. Alba T. Ross can hear me. Thank you. Yes, and Raw Neighbors, thank you. Oh, and thank you for the heart emoji. That's really great. I'm happy that you guys can see, too, that I'm a live person. If you have any questions, feel free to answer them, or feel free to ask them. I'd like to answer them. Especially Spygate, that's really my specialty right now, although I know a little bit about everything. I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of embarrassed, but yes, I am a real person. I do exist. I do talk. I'm not some weird Russian bot. And if I was, I'm probably the worst bot in the history of ever because, it's taken me so long to get to 2,000 subscribers. I think that Russian bots have, money and people behind them and backing, and they can just, I don't know, just be successful right out of the gate. Okay. So I thought maybe I'd also explain. Okay, I see. Ralph Riley says, well, if you're, I gotta fix the size of my. If you're I think this is Russian. Sure. Oh, pretty one. Oh, thank you. Thanks. I've had some computer difficulty lately. My graphics card died, so I just had to spend $300, and I haven't even been able to work on videos for the last couple weeks. Not complex videos, not the ones where I make the cartoons because they take a serious graphics card. Yes. I guess probably after the new year, I'd like to say that I'm going to be uploading more. I don't really want to. I really love doing the cartoon style videos, but I realize if I want this channel to grow, I absolutely have to upload more, which means I can't do that stuff because that stuff takes me forever. And I also don't want to do the more frequent uploads because I feel like there are so many other people out there who are a lot better than me at those, what just happened yesterday, or how do you feel about Jussie Smollett, or kneeling for the flag, or trans whatever is going on, athletes or whatever. People say that probably line up with how you would think that I would, so I don't feel like I need to say that. But like I said, again, if I want to upgrade or or get more people here, I think I have to comment and make more videos. And there's just no way that I can make more long form, funny, comedic videos that take a whole lot of research. Although I really like to do a lot of research before I just start commenting on stuff. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm not knocking anybody who makes stuff right away. Let's see. I got are your all your headline chat? Who are you? See, oh, my screen. Okay. So when my graphics card went down, there's something wrong with my monitor, and I've been having a hard time adjusting it. So when I look over at my live chat, I don't think I'm seeing like everything that people are saying. Like it's getting cut off a little bit. So just give me a second to see if I can play with this, to see if I can see what people are actually fully saying, or, oh yeah, this is bad. All right, I think I'm only going to be able to see part of what people can say. Oh, okay. I'm guess. Okay, so I just have to guess at like the last 3 or 4 letters, I think, of what people are saying. So Tani Converse says, I'm guessing new. It says KNE and then real. I look forward to all your. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Like I try live stream and talk to people, and my monitor settings are not good. Okay, maybe if I make it even smaller, maybe. Okay, yay. All right, I somewhat fixed it, so I can read what people are saying now. All right. Okay, Ron Neighbors, I don't know how I landed here. Who are you? Okay, I'm Right from Right Left to Center. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you landed here. I think in my description it says that I'm a mostly conservative YouTuber, and I like to do comedy videos, but they're like long form comedy, animated animated videos. So that's kind of what I do. But I chose the name Right Left to Center because when I say I'm mostly conservative, I am mostly conservative. There's a couple of things where I don't exactly line up. But also I had the name Right Left to Center because I wanted to be right. Originally, I wanted to be right. And then I wanted to have somebody who's left. And then I wanted to have someone who was center because I wanted to present, different sides of, arguments and stuff like that and have like an open discussion. My problem is finding a left. Like I thought I found a left person, but no, not so much. The last left person that I that agreed to. Oh, there goes Chad. He's not hanging anymore. No, the last left-leaning person I found to come on, basically wound up saying I was hateful and they would never speak to me ever again. Well, not ever again, but they wouldn't speak to me about politics ever again. And I'm sure if you're on the right, like, you know how that goes. I found somebody else too, but I just didn't think that they were, how do I put this? I don't think that I didn't feel comfortable enough with their knowledge on issues. Like I'm here to actually have a real conversation. Like I don't want to just come out and like embarrass somebody. And I felt like I could maybe walk all over this person. And that's not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to have like a real debate. All right, so let me catch up with some of what some other people are saying here. I knew you were real. I look forward to your next uploads. Okay, that's what Tony Converse said. All right, Tony, my next uploads, I have finished writing and at least recording in the cartoon version, my narration of, I'm doing Mike Flynn, and that's going to be with like more with Game of Thrones jokes. And yes, I need to finish Spygate Part 3. And then I've also started, it was going to be the IG report, but now I think it's going to be the IG report along with, I'm going to wait, I think, for the Durham, bar/Huber reports to come out, and then maybe do that as one big combined video. And I hate I hate to drop one of my biggest jokes, but maybe I will because you guys are here. But it's gonna be with with Conan the Barbarian jokes. So if you're familiar with Conan the Barbarian, then you know that they go out and they try to, like, Conan is after the riddle of Steele, so these guys are going to be after the riddle of Christopher Steele. So anyway, if you see that, then that's really funny, and if it's not, then there are going to be a whole lot of Conan the Barbarian jokes that you don't get. So all I can do is suggest that you go watch Conan the Barbarian, because that'll be really fun. All right, let me try to read some more stuff here. Ralph Riley says she's a mega fan, an awesome musical artist. Oh, Alba T. Ross says an exceptionally talented. Oh, thank you, Alba. I know I've seen you comment and stuff before. It's nice to see people and talk to people. Actually, like, this is I'm happy. I'm just happy I have 2,000 subscribers, and like I could do a live stream and people will actually show up and talk. Like, I'm pretty psyched about that. Yep. Victoria Olson says, Ron, her channel is called Right, Left to Center. Ralph says, you just work at the pace that you're comfortable with, sweetheart. It'll all come naturally if it's God's will. You know, I'm a little sad right now because I'm working so much. I mean, for me, I realize there's people who work way more than me, but like tomorrow, you know, I'm working 9 to 7, you know, plus my commute, like back and forth, you know, which is close to an hour each way. And then like next week, I only have 6 days off. Like, I'm just working so much, and then trying to do animation on top of that. It's really a bummer. I really, 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 really want to do so much more. Like, I really do. Like, I am so passionate about what I'm doing because, you know, I really feel like we are in the ultimate fight of good against evil, and I want to do as much as I can, you know, to support our president and help the cause. But, you know, then there's life and there's bills to pay, and I just, you know, like, I have to do this other stuff, and I hate it. But I will tell you that I have, you know, sometimes I have taken days off, and I don't get sick time or vacation time when I take off. You know, I'm just losing money, but I have done it, you know, because I come up with these imaginary deadlines in my head. But I just lost one. I really wanted to get the last Spygate video out before the IG report, but it just didn't happen. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, and well, part of that was because my graphic card just crapped out. Why? Because I made the mistake of, when I went home to see my mom for Thanksgiving, I took my computer with me. And I think that the many hours ride in the car, you know, you're not supposed to take a computer, apparently. Now I know. You're not, you know, computers aren't designed for you to transport them. And I think everything just got shook up. And that cost me hundreds of dollars making that mistake, because it's like, oh yeah, I have some days off, and, you know, I'll just work, and I'll, you know, try to hang out with my family. And that doesn't work either. Like, I can't do videos. Like, when it's the holidays and I don't, you know, I live far from my family, I just need, sometimes, you know, I just need time to like hang out with them and stuff like that, and maybe not break my computer and cost myself hundreds of dollars, and then, you know, weeks not being able to do anything at all because I messed up my computer because I transported something that is not designed to be transported. So, all right, Ron Neighbor says, thanks, Victoria. Victoria Alston gave Ron a thumbs up. Oh, David Hendrick, you're awesome, and we love you and your videos. Keep fighting the fight. There's a message that's held in review, and I don't know how to check that during a live stream. I guess I'll have to check it later. Jeremy Etchkinson says, I love your videos. You break them down to where even stupid liberals can understand them. They're funny AF to me. I'm glad. You know what, Jeremy, I'm really glad that you find them funny, because, you know, like, I have a really weird and quirky sense of humor. So I'm happy when people get my sense of humor. Ralph Riley, Ella, add a girl. Fixed it on the fly. Did you? Jeremy says liars hate the truth. Ralph Riley, love the music video you put out. That's what got me to subscribe to you. Keep up the good work and keep spreading the word. Yeah, about that MAGA rap video that I did. That's a true story. Yeah, my mom really actually did grow up in the Jim Crow South. Which was really like a terrible and horrible experience. Oopsie, there goes my cream soda all over the place. And so I'm often surprised when people, especially when Black people, say that it's like the race relations are like worse now than they ever have been in their life, especially when older Black people say that. And I'm just like, I just don't even understand, like what planet they're coming from, because it's nothing like that. Not to say that I've never experienced any type of racism whatsoever, because that wouldn't be true, but it's so far and few between, like this experience, like the instances are so far and few between, and it is nothing at all like what the generation, before me, which is my mom's generation, experience. Like, I don't know what that's like. Like, I don't know what it's like to go out and like to have to hide and be afraid that the KKK is going to kill you and you have to hide in the car. That's insane to me. But then I also have a very long-lived family, and I got the good fortune to meet my great-grandfather, and my great-grandfather, he died when I was 16, but his father was a slave. So like in my family, or at least in my lifetime experience, my family has only been one generation away from slavery, which would make me think that people who, are my mom's or my grandmother's age, they definitely like met slaves. But I mean, I don't know, like it's far away. It's definitely not my experience, but at the same time, it is not that far. But I don't know. I'm just happy and grateful that I didn't have to go through like anything anywhere near what anybody like that went through. And for me, I feel like, hopefully like Black people are kind of like gay people at this point, where people are just like, just live and let live, and people really don't care. Yeah, there are a few like ignorant people here and there, but it's just, it's not the norm, and it used to be the norm. And thank God, like, we have progressed and come so far. Okay, so Alvaro says the truth is painful for so many. It is like, it's crazy. The truth is very, very painful, especially for people who don't understand. And it's crazy. I was watching unfortunately, don't even ask me why. I was looking at Rachel Maddow, and she was, and some other leftist sites, and they were acting like, like the KKK, were the Republicans. And I'm just like, doesn't anybody know history? Did anybody study anything ever? I don't understand why they conflate Republicans with the KKK, but they do. And it's just amazing to me. But people really do need to, learn your history, know your history. Okay. All right. Ralph says, I find the left are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, and I think it's a mental illness right now. And Ralph, I completely agree with you. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. It's too hard. It's too hard to talk to these people. And really, I think like once you have Trump derangement syndrome, I don't know if we can reach those people. Okay. So like, I let those people go. Like the TDS, level like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they're gone. I think it's like herpes. You just can't get rid of it. I don't know. Maybe if we come out like with like a Valtrex or something like that for TDS, maybe you could at least like suppress it for a while. But no, really at this point, the people that, we need to be trying to reach are the independents. Because believe it or not, there are some of those out there, like people who are just reasonable, or like they just haven't committed to anything. So, and that's why I'm really very much pro. Hey, like Trump has this 2020. When you look at this impeachment stuff, like for me, there's almost nothing that you could say that's at this point that's going to turn me against Trump. And for the people on the extreme left, there's nothing that you can say that makes them love Trump. But take the people who are in the middle and have them watch this impeachment stuff. And I really honestly believe once they see how unfair they're being, that they won't extend President Trump the same courtesies, for impeachment that they extended to Nixon, that they extended, to Bill Clinton. If you're a reasonable person, you're going to be like, well, why not? Like why aren't they scheduling this minority hearing? Wow. And I think that somebody who isn't biased can look out there and say, okay, well, where is the evidence? You can't just say, I know like some people have been saying this is like the REO Speedwagon impeachment, where like I heard it from a friend who, and I better not sing that, because I don't want to get this stuff, So somebody heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend that somebody else, like the janitor, didn't like Trump. But I like to say that it's the California raisin impeachment, because they heard it through the grapevine, that somebody didn't like Trump, and somebody else didn't like Trump, and somebody else didn't like Trump. And then maybe he did something that he wasn't supposed to, but then like nobody knows because nobody heard anything and nobody even spoke to him. So yes, I really honestly do think that people who are independent can see through that kind of nonsense. And those are the people that we really need to be trying to meet and speak to, or at least talk to, because they can be convinced. Everybody else, put the fork in them, they're done. They got terminal TDS. All right. Tony says, I can't wait. Ralph says, I've always been an independent, and I admire Trump because he's got a set of cojones, and he's not a career politician. He's a businessman, and that's why I back him. And honestly, that's why I backed him as well. I voted for Obama the first time around, and to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I voted for him because he was black. And if you guys can't tell my race is, I'm black. Yeah, I'm not mixed. I don't have a white parent. Both my parents are black. I'm just, a light-skinned black person. So yes, but I was also a lot younger. And I think there were one or two other reasons. I gotta say, when I was a liberal and I was voting for Obama, I don't want to. Let me think. This is the hard thing about the live stream, is you have to think very carefully about what you say because you can't cut it out later. So I would say when I was liberal, my positions were not as thought out as they are now. Okay, so I won't regret saying that later. And so I looked for things that I think that liberals look for, which is like, it's a very, like there's the whole Ben Shapiro thing, facts don't care about your feelings. But when I was liberal, I think I was very much feelings first and then facts. And Obama, especially the first Obama, when he came out, he made you feel good, if you were just going on feelings. But you have to realize a lot of people vote on feelings. So if you can make them feel, and hope and change, and that just sounded great. It was music to my ears, and he said he was going to shut down Guantanamo Bay, and that was important to me. Not much else. I didn't understand taxes because I wasn't really paying taxes. I understood so little. All I know is he was a feel good president the first time around. Yeah, by his second term. Oh Lord. Oh no, just no. But yeah, don't vote for people based on their race. Like, that's the best thing I can say out of that. And also, yeah, I don't know who made that quote. That if you, I think I saw it attributed to Winston Churchill, but then later I saw that it's not Winston Churchill, but it goes something like, if you're not a liberal when you are 25, then you have no heart, and if you're not a conservative by the time you're 35, then you have no brain. And I really, really feel like there's some truth to that. Sometimes I feel like the liberal position, it is kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been in a big family and you go to sit down to eat for like a big meal like Thanksgiving, and there's like the child's table and then there's the adult table. And I really at this point feel like the liberals, it really is like being at the child's table, because it's just such, it's just, I hate to, I don't hate to say this. It is an uninformed position. It's not well thought out. And, it's just surface stuff. It's just good feelings, and people like good feelings. And there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, a lot of people don't want to do the research, to be knowledgeable on positions. And, I've talked to friends, really, really, really good friends. And what were we talking about? I think I was talking with a good friend about immigration. And what did they say? Oh, they were getting on me about the words inscribed on the Statue of Liberty. Well, it says, send me your, no, maybe it's not inscribed on the Statue of Liberty. Maybe it's just that poem. Send me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be breathe free. The wretched refuse from your steaming shore. I'm like, hold on. First of all, yes, I know you're getting caught up in the emotions of a poem. A poem is not legislation. B, like at the time that was written, if you want to go harken back to the Ellis Island days, those were the days, when we didn't have a social safety net, when you didn't have, all this welfare and such that you could fall back on. And I said, hey, if you want to get rid of all the welfare, then open up the borders. Like that's, that's a whole other thing. But you cannot have a welfare state and unlimited immigration, because we're just going to fall apart. You can't do that. You can't go to Canada and do that. I have a friend who wanted to, she desperately wanted to get into Canada because her family, like her children and stuff, were up there. And they were like, you know what, you don't get to just come up here and, come into our system without paying into it first and starting to get and pulling off of our benefits. And sometimes I feel like the Conservative Party is the party of tough love. Like if you're a conservative, sometimes I think about it like rock climbing, and then you have so everybody's connected by a line, and then you've got the guy who's like who loses his grip and there's no way he's getting back, and if you don't cut the line, everybody else is going to fall. And I feel like sometimes we're the ones who will use the knife to cut the rope and let the other guy fall to save everybody else. Because honestly, like, people are humans are tribal. We are very tribal people, and you have to protect your tribe. And I'm getting off on a tangent. And this is one of the reasons why I don't really like the live stream, because I have terrible ADD and it's hard to keep me on track. And I'll just go off on a total tangent. So let me go back and see what people were saying. And oh no, I just moved this. All right, let me come back to. I'll just read what people were saying here. Where was I? Oh, all right. All right, Tony says, love it. Ron Neighbors, I've been going on 4 years of no accountability for Democrat crimes. TikTok doesn't work. Yeah, I know. It's been really, really hard to, to deal with, and like these people, and no accountability, and then watching, watching people like Paul Manafort, be SWAT teamed. I'm not saying that he was the best guy in the world, but I'm saying, absolutely, he would not have been persecuted if it weren't for these, the deep state trying to go against Trump. I mean, especially in the case of Paul Manafort, they had a FISA out on him like back in as far back as 2014 at least, and they had let that go because they hadn't found anything, and it wasn't until Mueller became special counsel that they felt like, oh well, now we got to investigate him and pull Trump down, but not only that, but they threw him into solitary. I'm like, for what? For what? And then, they said, oh, like there's this black ledger or whatever, and it says that he got all this money that he didn't, declare. But then come to find out, we don't even know if the black ledger is true. But they did. So they put him in solitary and they brought him out 9 times, trying to get him to turn and say that, oh, Trump did this and Trump did that, and he didn't turn, and it's not that he was loyal, he just told the truth. So, I mean, they did so much to so many good people. And that's one of the things that I address in Spygate, the movie, part 3. There's a bit that I go into about all the families and all the people were hurt, and people lost homes, and people lost, like high-paying jobs. And there were some families where, both of the parents lost their jobs, and just crazy mounting court costs. And like General Flynn, he spent over $1 million, in legal fees, and he lost his home, and Mueller threatened, his son and to go after his family, and his son had a newborn baby at home. Oh, you're going to get me upset. You're going to get me upset and worked up. But I do. And I saw somebody else, I posted a where we go one, where we go all message. And that's one of those things, really, if it wasn't for that stuff and being able to find information through that way, maybe I would be like pulling my hair out right now. But I know there's a plan. You just kind of have to trust in the plan. Understand that Trump is actually playing the 3D underwater chess. And it makes sense. And that things will be released in the proper time. Because there are people who do war gaming. And that understand that the Democrats only have like basically one plan. They have one plan or one play, and they just run it over and over and over. And this stuff has been worked out in advance. And I know it's frustrating. We have to stay calm and just realize we're going to win. We're going to win. We have to win, but we will win. Okay. Ralph says, sounds interesting. Ron says, good luck. Ralph says, I'm a big supporter of the movement and a moderate in several different podcasts. Oh, moderate. Moderate, or is that supposed to mean moderator in several different podcasts? Ralph said, it's okay because I want to do more. but you still have to have a life too. Just whatever we can put towards this movement helps. Most important thing is whatever your passion is, follow it, and God will provide an income if you follow it. Oh, Rick Schleck says, love you. RLC, I love you too, Rick. Thanks you for the comment. Jeremy, I think you are the first Black person to drink cream soda. LOL. I don't think I am. Let me think. I'm not sure if I've ever seen my mom drink it, but I'm sure somebody else has. Air Force Girl says, because of Obama, he stirred the pot. Rick says, what a treat to see you live. Okay, that's the other problem. One of the reasons why I don't I don't like to go live or for to do like the like the newscast where you read the news, or if I were to have a, what are those, the screens where you read or whatever. Anyway, because of my ADD, my reading is horrible. I mean, I can read, of course I'm literate, but when I read, I skip words. So I have to slow down, and then when I'm reading something, it's not smooth. I don't sound like a newscaster. I sound like somebody who can barely read, and I swear I can read. Like I have a degree in biology. Like I promise you I'm a smart person. You just can't tell it when I read, because I jump so many words ahead, and I skip small words. Like I don't see A's or ands or these or buts, and I get the big ones, and then I have to slow down and kind of go back and just it's pain. Like it's a very, very painful process. But it doesn't sound good when I read out loud. But hey, if you guys can deal with how I sound, then I guess you'll stay subscribed. If not, yeah, then you probably won't want to see me, because I'm kind of a mess when it comes to reading out loud. All right, Jeremy says, when you don't go through the BS, the stuff your parents went through, and you have life easier, it means your parents did their job. Do the same for your kids. And I totally agree with that. That is something that is like excellent advice, because we all should be working to make it easier for the next generation. I just won't be having kids because I have fertility issues. And if you guys were here early enough, you would have seen my I've actually done a video on miscarriage, and I think somewhat fertility, but I took it down, because I think I was a little too emotional in it. I was like crying and sobbing and crap, and I basically just did a video way too soon, and it was a little awkward, so I put it back on private. But I actually will be doing a video on like abortion and miscarriage and all that, but just after I finish the Spygate stuff. But I think it's going to be very powerful. Well, it says, you might want to look into getting a super chat on your live streams. That might help you financially. That's a good idea. I don't know how to do that. Rick says herpes. He. Yeah, herpes is like, it's just a funny word to say. I'm trying to think of some good herpes stories. I actually have several herpes stories. Thank goodness. None of them involve me having herpes. They're all about, finding out somebody else has herpes. You're like, oh. But, hey, like I said, at least there's Valtrex, and I won't be with you. So, I mean, I guess it's not that bad. Maybe. Ralph says, the media plays up the racist thing more than what it is. Here's me not being able to read. Okay. The media plays up the racist thing more than what it really is to try to keep us all divided. For all Americans, we're all patriots and we all have red blood. Doesn't matter what color we are. Exactly. Thank you so much. I didn't do one, but my sister did a 23andMe, and basically, I'm from every continent where people are from, with the exception of Australia, which I was actually pretty psyched about. I mean, I was a little sad that I didn't have any Aboriginal blood in me, but other than that, I mean, hey, kind of the American dream, like the melting pot, and then there's a scientific term called hybrid vigor, which basically means, the more genetically diverse that you are, the better off you are. Because in my family, we had a problem with, because there's like race specific diseases and such. So some people in my family had a sickle cell, but, we've mixed with enough, Asian and European and North and South American folks to where, like, I didn't get it. I'm like, hey, that's great, and I don't know if it's the Jews that get Tay-Sachs or somebody. I forget. I don't know if somebody wants to tell me who gets Tay-Sachs. But yeah, there are all kinds of like very, very race specific things. And basically the moral of the story is nobody wants a gene pool that's shallow. Okay. Alba says, I had Trump derangement syndrome. We can be helped. I was never a lefty though, so maybe that's why. Q woke me up. Alba, I'm so glad to hear that. Like you're giving me like faith in humanity now that like we can, that we can do something with some of these, some of these people. And maybe I was gonna say, maybe you tell me what maybe what specifically happened that woke you up, or I mean, maybe you're just more willing to hear stuff, or maybe you weren't all the way, to level 10. But I'm very, very happy to hear that there are some people who can be convinced. It's just sometimes, I feel like you just kind of get like discouraged because of, what the news says, depending on what side of the news you're looking at. And for me, in order to make the videos that I'm making, I try to make videos that are very, very, very hard to debunk or undebunkable. And so that forces me, if undebunkable is a word, that forces me to have to watch left-leaning stuff, which makes me, feel like, ugh, first of all, you're drained, and then you're like trying to stay awake. But and I guess it's a little frightening to see just how easy it is for them to lie, and then to understand that there are people, especially like my loved ones, that are watching this and they're not doing the research, and they're just getting swallowed up in these lies. And then all these people out there are just saying stuff like, oh, well, this has been completely debunked. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, as long as you ignore 98% of the information out there, then yes, it's debunked. But for anybody who can read or who has Google, it's not. But it's getting people to the point where they will read or they will Google something. That's the problem. Because people have lives, and, they don't want to spend, hours and hours and hours like researching stuff. So therein lies the problem, I believe. Oh, Rick Schleck is asking me, do I follow Q? Yes, I do. Jeremy says, yep, where we go on, we go all. Oh, Ralph says, I was born in South Philly and raised in Delaware. My dad is originally from South Philly, and he was really racist. I'm glad it didn't affect me. I love it when I wear my MAGA hat. I'm 6'2", 250. I haven't found anybody dumb enough to grab it off my head, though. Yeah, I would hope so. 6'2", 250. I don't think anybody's going to be grabbing your MAGA hat off if they have any sense. And I'm glad that like the racism didn't affect you. Like I have a lot of friends, you know, that will tell me that getting pretty wild here. It's a crazy night. I'm on my second one. Actually, it's my third, but don't tell anybody. And I'm sorry about my goofy personality too here, because I just keep. If you ever like hang out with me, I guess you're hanging out with me now, but I'm usually like constantly trying to come up with jokes and like make jokes and throw jokes and sometimes, and that's also another thing that makes me a little bit worried about live streaming, because sometimes I make jokes and they're huge like misses. They just, but I don't know, I guess that's just part of hanging out with somebody who is, I don't want to say a comedian because I don't do stand-up, or I've never done stand-up. If I do stand-up, then I feel like I can call myself a comedian. But until then, no. But yeah, like I said, I have a lot of friends who, you know, had racist parents or racist grandparents, and, you know, we're just all here, and a lot of times, you know, like they're immigrants and stuff like that, and they you know, they haven't been around other people, and they have these preconceived notions. But eventually, if you're here long enough, you figure out that people are just people. And all right, I'm thinking of a joke that I shouldn't tell right now, so I won't tell it. but and then this is weird that I tell a joke in my head and I don't say it out loud, but I'm trying to edit because I'm live streaming. All right, let me put it to you like this. This was a joke I used to say. I used to say that I'm a huge racist and I hate all races equally, and I just like people on a case-by-case basis. Now, of course, if I'm racist and I hate everyone, then that, in my silly joke head, then that cancels it all out. I'm really not racist. But I think really that's what you have to do, though. You have to just look at people individually, you know. Not everyone's a good person, but and not everybody's a jerk either. So just meet people, talk to them. If they're cool, they're cool. If they're not, you know, screw them, you know. Hang out with somebody that you like. Yep. Air Force Girl says, where are we going? One, we go all. Pauline. Oh, hi, Pauline. She says, hashtag facts matter. Yes, facts matter. Rose says, Valtrex for TDS. I love that one. David says, I'm an independent thinker. I have been red-pilled, and I love this president. I love it when I red pill people and wake people up. It's invigorating to me. Alba says, because it's a naive position. Rick says, I was a conservative in high school, voted for Reagan. Heartless? ? Were you heartless in high school? I don't know. It's just an expression, man. I wish, honestly, I could, between you and me, Rick, I feel like if you were conservative when you were 25 or below 25, you're just ahead of the game. Ralph says maybe you should do a cartoon skit on Heard It Through the Grapevine about Trump impeachment with the California raisins. That would be awesome. I thought about that. I totally did. I have a couple of things that, I've been thinking about. I was thinking about doing a Christmas song too. I'm just like, my mind, like I get so one track. I hate to say I have a one-track mind, because I have a one-track mind that's on like 3 or 4 tracks. So to add like another track is so hard, but I really, really did think about that. I thought that would be fun and funny to do a California Grapevine, like impeachment song. I also thought about doing a Christmas impeachment song, but I haven't quite gotten all the way through. Was it what song was I thinking about? Oh, Heart Hear the Bells. Oh, here's it. Something. Impeachment is here. Da, 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 da. Okay, something like that. But it's not all. I don't know. There's so many ideas going through my head all at the same time. It's a little bit maddening. Rose says maybe you should do a cartoon skit on her. Maybe you should do a cartoon skit on her through the grapevine about. Oh, yeah, I think I already read that, and I'm just crazy. Maybe I will do the California grape ones too. But I'm like, or California raisins. I'm like, but does anybody remember the California raisins? Somebody will remember the California raisins. And it says, second generation Irish. My grandparents came to Ellis Island. That's pretty cool. I am part Irish as well. I am part everything. He also says conservatives, first thing they do is move out of their parents' house. Yeah, I moved out at 18. I have not been back. Well, hold on. I came back from my first summer for college. I came back for that, and then after that, no, I didn't go back after that. One summer, and I was done. Alba says, I understand about live streaming. I'm a pretty good writer, but a terrible orator. Rick says, I'm ADD too. Tribalism is good. Okay. Related to racism, often confused. Ralph says, going back to the TikTok thing, a lot of people don't understand that most of these criminals fall under a two-tier justice system because they have their UCC 1 and UCC 3. And, that kind of that comment that you said kind of reminds me of some of the topics and subjects that I wanted to get to eventually. I haven't gotten there yet. Well, I guess I touched it a little bit with the rap, but on this channel, eventually you will be seeing me talk about like what's going on with the African American community and the issues there, and what I think the problems are and what I think the solutions are. And I have this thing in my head called this, like, the Chicago plan, essentially, where I write up this giant plan because I do work in for a number of years. I've worked in inner city schools and inner city communities, and so like I'm in there, like I'm in the trenches with a lot of these people and folks. And like myself, I'm middle class, okay, but like I see that stuff, and I am going to talk about that on this channel. And what I don't want on this channel is people who apologize for being like white or not black, and then feeling like, oh, like I'm just an ignorant white person, so I can't have an opinion on anything. I can't say anything. If that's how you feel, please leave. Please leave right now. Because for me, we live in America, okay? And we all have to live together. And there are some problems that are bigger than one individual group. And I would say by now, if Black people could have solved this all on their own, it would have been solved quite some time ago. And it's not. And clearly we need everybody. We need everybody's input. And we need everybody's input on everything, because this America is this beautiful, wonderful, like melting pot experiment, and you can't exclude groups. You can't exclude someone because they're a white male, or because they're a white female, or because they're Asian, or because they're purple, or whatever, especially when you have to live next to these people. So please, if you haven't, I'm gonna say some stuff. I'm gonna be talking about race, and I absolutely want you to chip in and say, let me know what you think, like, for real. This is, there's no snowflakery on this channel. No one's gonna be asking you to check your, white privilege or black privilege, or, I mean, honestly, like, everyone has privilege. I was And this is funny. I was out with some friends, and I think some sort of African American race-based issue came up. I don't remember specifically what it was, but there was a girl at the table, and I know she was a liberal, and she immediately started apologizing to me. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I can't say anything about this. I'm just an ignorant white person, and like you see this stuff up close. This is your life experience. You live this. And I was like, B word, I came here in a luxury vehicle. I don't know what you're talking about. Because sometimes people are, in their in their attempt to not be racist, they actually become racist. Because I'm like, guess what? Not all Black people are poor. Okay? Like, no. Like, I'm not, I'm not a hood rat, okay? Like, I'm doing okay. I'm fine. I just want to help other people be fine. But please don't assume that I'm poor because I'm Black. Because that makes you kind of a jerk. So there's that. All right, so Dave Rogers says, I think Flynn was vindicated today. Stone is a stud. Yes, I think Flynn was vindicated quite some time ago. No, not quite some time, not that long ago. But once I first saw, like, maybe last year, about how many. I think last year I knew that there were at least 2 or 3 302s, and that started raising questions. But now that I know, there was a 302. He had a 302. First of all, the original 302 that should have been dated, I think, 5 days after the initial interview, which was, I think, January 24th. That one's missing. That one's never been produced. But there's one from like February 10th of 2015, I think February 11th, February 14th, February 16th, and then like another one like May 17th. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And then he matched them up with all the Strzok and Page texts. And then you find out that Lisa Page was editing. She's there like doing these edits on these 302s, and you find out that the edits are very material, and that they're moving questions, or they're moving his answers, to other questions, to other answers, and and honestly, they're just fabricating stuff. There's stuff that's in 302s that isn't in the original notes, and these things were made into charges, and it's outrageous. It's outrageous. It's disgusting, because they took a man that served his country for 33 years. 5 of those years he served in combat zones, and they did this to him. It's disgraceful. It is disgusting. It is horrible. It's really, really outrageous. If I'm off on my dates, I apologize. Feel free to fact check me though, and you'll think that I did pretty good on those dates. Okay, David says, for such a double standard, when the Pearl Harbor shooter posted his metaphysical on Twitter, nothing done. But when the previous shooter shot and posted his metaphysical on 8chan, they removed it. Well, yeah. If we follow Q, I think we know about how we know what happened there. Rick says Q plus qmap.pub, and it's okay. Reading is boring, says Rush. Probably. Yeah, when you skip words like that, that's called the herringbone technique. They tried to teach me that, but it wasn't until I was 32 that I was diagnosed with dyslexia. Whew. Well, that's rough. I can't even imagine what it would be like to have something like that going on and not to be diagnosed for that long. That would be very, very difficult. But I'm very glad that you got your diagnosis, and hopefully, hopefully you've been able to, like compensate with that and work with that. Rick says, you sound great. Otherwise, I would have tuned out. How do I produce my animations? I use Adobe Character Animator in order to make like the mouth move, because I'm not a real animator. By trade, by profession, like I'm basically a chemist. Yeah, my degree, like I started out in school. I majored in biochemistry, but I was kind of lazy, so I switched to biology. But if you have like a biology degree or a biochemistry degree or a chemistry degree, once you come out of school, you can kind of do all, like you can do the same jobs. Like they don't care. They just want something in the same field. So I say I'm a chemist, but then you're like, oh, your degree's in biology, but I worked in chemistry, except I guess when I was in school, because then I worked in neurobiology for a few years, but then I did that because, okay, I'm getting all weird and rambly again. Sorry about that. And then I say I did biology because I was lazy. The reason why I say I was lazy is because the way that my brain works is I'm good at massive amounts. Like I can memorize massive amounts of information. What I can't do, what I'm not good at is like math and calculations. So for me, chemistry was more difficult. So first of all, when I got to school, honestly, I didn't even really want to be a scientist. My mom was just like, hey, you're going to be a scientist. Well, because when I think I was talking earlier about my family, and my family only being like one generation, my lifetime experience outside of slavery, I'd sit around, I'd talk to my great grandfather, who, I called grandpop, and he wasn't allowed to go to school. And, because of his race. And, my grandfather, like the whole entire family had to, save up and stuff so he could go to school. It was just, when you come from a family that has been through that, honestly, nobody is trying to hear that you want to be a comedian. That is not an option. It is not an option. So they're like, Black people can actually be scientists and stuff right now. So that's what you're going to do. I'm like, fine, that's what I'm going to do. But my mom did say, like, as soon as you get your degree in science, you can do whatever you want. So basically that's what I did. After I got my degree in science, I got into a crazy number of other different fields. And I'm not sad that I went to school and I have a degree or whatever, or that I did research. But it just, it just wasn't my personality type. But I hope you can understand why I did it. But when I got to school, I was not the most serious student because I was dealing with or majoring in something that I wasn't really passionate about. And to do biochemistry, you really kind of need to be passionate about it, especially if you're me and you're not good at calculations. So I wasn't. So I just wanted to get through it. So I switched to biology, which is basically just strict memorization. And that's how I got through it. Rick says, our leaders are psychopaths. Colbert Report. Yes, they're absolutely psychopaths. I agree with you 1,000% on that one. Alba says, I have to go. Good to see you. I will catch the rest of your video tomorrow. Hey, it was good to see you too, Alba. I know you've been around for a while. I recognize your name. Thank you so much for supporting me and hanging out and being part of stuff. And I should probably go pretty soon too, because I have a ridiculously long day tomorrow. As I said, I got to do 9 to 7, and that's not fun. Yeah. So, Rick, he moved out at 19. Good for you. I moved out at 18. I'm all about, getting out there. Like my mom was not letting me hang out in the house forever and ever and ever. She said, you're 18, you can go to college or you can get a job. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to college. And I'm moving out. Ralph says, yeah, we're the melting pot right now in America, kind of like Babylon. We need to get back to God and back to the good book. There's a lot of good teachings in it. Yes, there are a lot of good teachings in the Bible, absolutely. And maybe some of it, not today, I will get into religion and what I think about various religions. But I have studied different religions and I have some kind of interesting views on religions that I have not gotten into yet. It says the hardest part about being dyslexic the hard part about being dyslexia as an awesome carpenter, but I really had to watch my numbers. I will get them backwards sometimes. Okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, like getting your numbers like mixed, but yeah, I do. Actually, I have no idea how you cope with that or how you deal with that. I work with kids who have different like levels of needs and stuff. I've never come across somebody who has dyslexia, so I don't know how you deal with that. I says my daughter works for an eye doctor and they make up a pair of glasses with yellow tint to him that helps fix this. Oh, okay. So there's glasses. That's pretty awesome. I mean, we've come pretty far. I've not heard about any of this. Found one of those topics where I'm just completely ignorant on. Okay. I mean, I guess that's a good thing about me. If I don't know anything about something, I will say it. I'm not the type to just make things up. And then Dave says, my family was sent here as indentured servants, in parentheses, slaves, in the 1560s. Slavery has existed all over the planet. No one culture is responsible for it. And that is true. You will get no disagreement from me on that point. You want to, go back into ancient times. Yeah, or even modern times. You look over. There's still slavery that exists today, and that's kind of outrageous. Actually, not kind of outrageous. That's completely outrageous. That there are people who are still slaves today. It's just kind of mind-boggling, and that was something that I always wondered about. I think that while I'm against foreign intervention, I would think that maybe you could get people, if we were going to go to war over something, how about the war to end slavery? How about that? Because people don't understand why we're in Syria. People are confused about Afghanistan, Iraq, all that other stuff. Like they don't they don't get it. But if you were to come out and say, hey, we're going to have a war against slavery, I think people could actually wrap their mind around that. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everybody who came and spoke with me tonight. It was so awesome. I wasn't expecting even a third of you, so I'm so happy. Thanks, Ralph and Dave, Rick, Alba. I don't want to miss anybody. Pauline, Air Force Girl, Jeremy, Ron. If I missed you when I said something, I'm sorry. But yeah, this this was so awesome. Like, I'm so happy that like I was able to talk and people actually talk to me and stuff too. Anyway, okay, hopefully, well, not hopefully, but I promise the next time I'll talk, it won't be just me rambling on and on about nonsense. You know, it should be a more targeted thing. I wrote down some things on here that I did not bring up, so I'll talk about something else later. One of my silly things was going to be like, you know, if I have one eye covered, it's not because I'm in the Illuminati. It's just because I'm not good with makeup and I have that winged eyeliner on. It's not even. So if I do that, it's not, you know, like I'm like it's not some conspiracy. I'm just bad at makeup. So yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I'm pretty good. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, Joe. All right, I got one more thing from Ralph. He's all right, one more thing from Ralph. Currently, I'm a 54-year-old retired carpenter. Unfortunately, this is labeled disability. I ran my body into the ground. Take care of my family. I wouldn't change a thing. I love them dearly. You know, I'm glad that you're. It's nice to see that like there are people who are like still hard workers that like love their families and you know like they go the extra mile for them and they take care of them. And Dave says, "Beautiful conversation. Good night, Lee. Good night, everybody. We have to go to bed now. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys soon."